America's pastime has been a part of the Vegas community for over 40 years. And as our city grew, so did the love of the game. Now, excitement is growing for our next home team. All season long, Fox 5 and the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network are covering athletics baseball on the field, in our community. As we build our future together, America's pastime will soon call the Valley home. Play ball, Las Vegas. This is Covering the Bases with the A's.
All-Star Game festivities have wrapped up. Our All-Stars are headed home, and we're getting ready for the second half of the A's season. Welcome inside Covering the Bases with the A's, the first ever Vegas show devoted strictly to athletics baseball. Mike Davis here alongside Kevin Bolinger. Kevin, tell us what's on deck.
All right, we got the batting order here for today's show. The A's All-Stars shine bright in the All-Star Game and Derby in Atlanta. Then we take a trip to the farm as we take a closer look at the MLB Draft with the voice of the Aviators, Matt Neverett. And later I sit down one-on-one with A's rookie third baseman Max Muncy. But first, we start with the All-Star Game action featuring Jacob Wilson.
And batting ninth from the Athletics, shortstop Jacob Wilson.
There he is during the intros, the first fan-elected rookie shortstop to start an All-Star Game, the A's budding superstar, Jacob Wilson. Now, it was a quiet night for Wilson at the plate. His first All-Star Game appearance, had an 0 for 2 in terms of his at-bats. Wilson also had a notable moment as he challenged a strike call, correctly getting the call overturned to a ball. But a really cool moment happened on the broadcast between Jacob and his dad.
Yes, it was a mic'd up moment that touched our hearts as Jacob Wilson took the field wearing a microphone, talking with broadcasters Joe Davis and John Smoltz, along with his father Jack from the stands. Jacob and Jack Wilson are the first father-son duo to play shortstop at the All-Star Game.
Jack suited up for the Pirates as a reserve for the National League back in 2004. Here they are in the third inning.
What's this ride been like to this point?
Yeah, it's been crazy. You know, it went by fast. I'm just happy to be here, happy to represent the A's, and just love playing baseball.
Jack, you coach Jacob every step of the way. What's your advice been for this first All-Star experience for him?
Nah, just enjoy the moment, be out there. He looks phenomenal. Your flow is fantastic right now, Jacob. Thank you. I haven't had a flow like that since like middle school, so I'm really proud of you right now. And I don't want to mess with you because, you know, with Lou throwing six. Yeah. Couldn't you make you some tiny spins? No, he's been great, man. I mean, from the day, he grew up over in Turner Stadium with his Braves uniform and hitting BP in center field. So this is amazing coming back here for him.
Such a sweet moment, especially for you, Kev, being a dad. But, let me just reiterate this. The first father-son duo to both become all-star shortstops. What did you take away from that special moment?
Well, obviously the pride of the father that we saw right there, but also the respect of the son. Jacob has had his dad to be his private coach. They talked about it on the broadcast. He was also his coach his whole life, his coach in high school, his coach in college at Grand Canyon. So the synergy of those two, really phenomenal. And how cool it must be for Jack to see his son go through many of the same moments that he did, and then potentially, of course, as we know, going to maybe do even more than he did.
Yeah, it's really what baseball's all about.
It's been tough to hit. Fastball is hit hard in the air to left center field. Back goes Stowers. It is gone. The American League is on the board on a home run from Brent Rooker.
Now the other A's All-Star selection, Brent Rooker, came to play for the Midsummer Classic. Top of the seventh with the AL down 6-0. Rooker took a 2-0 pitch and clobbered it. A 3-run shot that put the AL in reach, becoming the fourth player in A's history to go deep in the All-Star Game, the first since Terry Steinbach in 1988. Here he was after that homer.
Yeah, I don't know how I took those two sliders. They were really good pitches, and I don't know. So I shut it down on him, and then I was swinging no matter what on that 2-0 pitch, hoping it was a fastball, and it happened to be a fastball.
And that homer kicked off a big-time AL comeback with the game tied after 9. The All-Star Game entered a historic swing-off, the first ever for Major League Baseball. The A's DH came up to bat first, and he knocked 2 home runs out of the 3 swings that he was given.
Yeah, he was well on his way, Kev, to an all-star MVP. That is until Kyle Schwarber of the Phillies won for the NL, going back to back to back. Now, overall, it was a spectacular showing for the A's on a special night for the MLB. But just the night before, Rooker had his opportunity to take center stage yet again, this time for the home run derby.
Yeah, Rooker did his thing, knocking 17 home runs in the derby as he was all tied up with Seattle's Cal Raleigh after the first round.
Yet he didn't get to the second round because, Kev, on a technicality, that was kind of crazy. Raleigh's longest homer was a little further than Rooker's, and how much further? Well, even less than an inch. So rather than going into a swing off, something I know Mike Allen really wanted them to do, Raleigh got to the second round because of advances in centimeters.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy stuff.
We'd like to see the swing off. More baseball, that's what it's all about. And, that's what people come to see. They should do the swing off.
Exactly.
Measuring that.
Just like they did in the All-Star game. Now, Kevin, to see 2 A's All-Stars on the biggest stage for the MLB, how meaningful, how inspiring was this, not just for the fans, but for the clubhouse moving forward?
Oh, this is huge, especially for a young team. Rooker's second All-Star game, obviously. This was Jacob Wilson's first. Mason Miller was an All-Star last year. And when you look at the young talent that the A's have, Nick Kurtz, Lawrence Butler, Tyler Soderstrom, Zach Geloff, the All-Star game is a stage that you could see these guys taking as well. More wins, get more spots on the roster for the American League. So it's something for the A's to look forward to maybe in the years to come. And of course, with that new stadium we're building out there at Las Vegas Boulevard in Tropicana, there is hope that Las Vegas could host an All-Star game not long after those new days.
All right, I'm crossing my fingers. Now, Kev, on deck, you know what else happened since our last show? Well, the MLB Draft. Coming up, we have a special MLB Draft edition of On the Farm.
You're watching Covering the Bases with the A's.
We are fresh off the 2025 MLB Draft. The Athletics pulling off some major steals with their 19 picks, and here to break them down is Matt Neverett, the play-by-play broadcaster for the Aviators. He'll be getting a front row seat to these guys on the farm. Matt, let's start with the first guy off the board, Jamie Arnold. Southpaw out of Florida State. What jumps out at you about this guy?
Great value. Arnold was a guy that was projected to go as high as 5th in the draft. So for him to fall to 11 really kind of surprised some people. And anytime you can get an advanced college left-handed arm, scouts salivate over that combination if they can command their fastball. And for a guy like Arnold, the fastball command coming out of Florida State, really the biggest question mark. But it's one of those situations, in baseball they say you can't teach height and you can't teach the ability to throw left-handed. So he's got those 2 things working for him. And I think he's a guy who could really slot into the middle of a rotation pretty quickly. And the one thing to keep in mind as well is that with the A's and the way that they've set up their minor league system, they are really used to pumping guys through really within a year of being drafted. 4 of the last 5 first-round picks for the A's are on their major league roster and making an impact every day. So the A's have a penchant for pushing some guys through their minor league system a little bit quicker. It can be tougher with pitchers to really advance them and matriculate them through the system that fast, but I think Arnold is a guy that could fly pretty quickly through this system.
Now looking outside that first round, a guy that I had circled, Devin Taylor, outfielder from Indiana. Impressive offensive production, but what guys are intriguing to you?
I think Devin Taylor, the guy that you mentioned, coming out at 48th overall, another guy that kind of fell a little bit from where he was projected, above average hitter and has power with a really good batting eye as well. That's one thing that scouts really love to see, especially from the advanced college bats. If you can get him for a steal, not only can you get away with paying a little bit less right off the bat, go a little bit underslot for some of these college guys, but you can fly them through your minor league organization, especially a guy who already has the discerning batting eye. You don't have to really work with him too much on that. The power is always going to be there for Taylor, and so that's a guy that I think could have a rapid rise as well. I think Gavin Turley, who they got in the 4th round, is a good pick for them as well. The Turley family has been around for a while in baseball. Zane Taylor in the 5th round as well, a 23-year-old super senior. You talk about guys that are going to rocket their way to the big leagues. I think that is a guy who, with the A's needing pitching desperately, that could get up to the big leagues in a year or two at the most.
A lot of names you just threw out there, so are we chalking this up to a successful draft overall?
I think in terms of getting what they need and getting guys that could get to the big leagues quickly, I think that the A's did a very good job, especially with their top 10 or 11 picks. You know, it's all about team need when it comes to the draft, and especially for a team like the A's, they've got the young talent. They've shown that they can draft and develop better in recent years than they have in years past. I think for the A's, as far as what they needed and what was out there, I think they got some steals, and I think they got some guys who are going to be able to get up to the big leagues within a year or two for sure.
Well, as we know, the Athletics set to land in Vegas in 2028. How excited should fans be with the timelines here matching up of these top prospects and the A's getting to Vegas?
The A's have really set it up to where 2028 is going to be when a lot of these guys are hitting their stride. Thinking about guys like Lawrence Butler, obviously the all-star Jacob Wilson, Tyler Soderstrom, kind of an unheralded guy as well, along with Nick Kurtz. But keep in mind as well, the top-tier talent they've got in Vegas right now. In Colby Thomas, Logan Davidson, a former first-round pick, Darrell Hernandez, who would be starting in the infield for just about everybody else. You've got Daniel Susac as well, who was a first-rounder. Really, him and Shea Langoliers would make up one of the best power-hitting tandems in Major League Baseball right now. And they've set themselves up where the timing of everything really should match up come 2028 or even 2029 to be a really exciting, really competitive Major League roster.
Well, Matt, thank you so much for your time. Always appreciate it. All right, Mike, take it away.
All right, after the break, Kevin is sitting down with A's rookie Max Muncy. Don't miss this exclusive interview.
And hey, before we head to break, let's get in a quick trivia question. This time we're talking nicknames again. We did something similar a couple weeks ago. And I'm giving you 3 real players here who played for the Athletics for a while, but one of them is made up. So which one of these is fake? Bucketfoot Al Simmons, Blue Moon Odom, Catfish Hunter, or Tungsten Arm O'Doyle? We got the answer after the break.
You're watching Covering the Bases with the A's.
All right, we're back, and I'm going to tell you the imposter out of these 4 players. 3 of them played for the A's back in the day, but old Tungsten Arm was the one that never existed. Funny enough, he actually does have a Wikipedia page claiming he did some wild stuff like setting off 200 sticks of dynamite in a cave in Scotland, but alas, that is all fake, as is his name. Now, Bucketfoot Al is real, and he's the guy I want to spotlight here. We're going to meet him in green and gold throwback in just a minute here. He's the A's all-time leader in batting average and runs batted in, second in hits, doubles, and triples. And I'll tell you how he got his nickname, but first, let's set the stage here. It's 1925. The Athletics haven't had a winning season in over a decade. That dynasty of the early 2010s, I should say 1910s, seems real far away, but they were almost out of the woods. Here's what happened when the young core started coming together and fans in Philly could finally see hope on the horizon again. The A's managed to climb out of last place by 1922, finishing 7th out of 8, and then 6th in 23, 5th in 24, so a good trajectory, but still quite a ways to go. As the 25 season started, it was clear the young players the A's brought in had some real talent. 4 guys in particular, who all wound up being Hall of Famers, stood out. Al Simmons, their new right fielder, exploded on the scene with 253 hits that year, still good for 5th all time. And he did that despite an odd hitting style that had him step in the bucket against conventional wisdom, earning him the nickname Bucketfoot Al. Then there was catcher Mickey Cochran, whose great rookie season landed him 10th in MVP voting, and also a guy who got his first taste of the majors that year at 17 years old, Jimmy Fox. And finally, maybe the best A's player ever, for real, fireballing pitcher Lefty Grove. 25 was also his rookie year, and while he led the league in strikeouts, his first of 7 consecutive seasons doing that, Grove was also pretty wild, walking more batters than he struck out, but he, along with the rest of the team, had plenty of room to grow. The A's finished 2nd in 25, and manager Connie Mack kept that momentum going for the next 3 seasons, but they just couldn't get past the team that was really building their legacy as the evil empire of baseball. Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, and the New York Yankees, with a lineup nicknamed Murderer's Row. The Yanks finished ahead of the A's 3 straight years in the late 20s, and it looked like it'd take a miracle to knock them off. Yeah, there's a reason Babe Ruth is the most famous player in baseball history, but did the A's have it in them to knock him off? Well, next week on Green and Gold Throwback, we're going to find out what happened when this young core really rounded into shape and challenged the Yankees again. For now, Kevin, to you.
Max Muncy proving to be a valuable piece for the A's organization, and he's only 22 years old. Since being drafted 25th overall in the 2021 draft, Muncy has played second, third, and short, and he's showing some pop at the plate.
Max Muncy in the air. Max Muncy traveling back towards the wall. See you later. How about your first big league hit as a homer?
Opening weekend in Seattle, and it didn't take long for Max Muncy to belt his first big league home run. Muncy started the season with the A's as their second baseman after the spring training injury to Zach Geloff. But after a few weeks, he was sent back to AAA Las Vegas because they wanted him to get some more at-bats and to learn third base, where there's potentially a need in the coming years.
Just kind of go down to AAA, get comfortable. Obviously, a little slower start with the bat, so it was, go down there, get the at-bats you need, kind of gave me a little bit of free rein on the offensive side, like just do what you need to do and be ready when you come back. And now that I'm back, I'm just going to try to implement those things that I learned down in AAA.
Since being called back up, Muncy has been a regular fixture at third, and he shares the left side of the infield with his high school teammate Jacob Wilson. They've played together since before they could get a driver's license. That's helped to develop chemistry on the field.
Yeah, I kind of know from playing besides him, like what plays he likes, how he likes to throw certain balls. There's certain balls that at third that I'll probably be able to get to that I might let go because I know that he's so good on the run. So there's just certain things like that I definitely have seen him do throughout the years that I know that I can play off of.
At Thousand Oaks High School, Muncy not only was a teammate of Wilson, he played for Wilson's dad, Jack, a 12-year big leaguer who Muncy credits with getting him ready to play at the pinnacle of the sport.
One of the most important decisions I made was going to play baseball under him. I think he just taught me so much about the game and really preparation for what I was supposed to expect here. I think he knew that was my goal and he knew that I had a chance to do it. So I think that was his job. He kind of, looked at the bigger picture and wasn't so focused on high school baseball, but more focused on, what do I need this kid to be ready for in the near future.
Chopped, Muncy will field it fair. Muncy jumped through, and Jose Altuve's out.
Now, Muncy is part of the core of this young A's roster, where 6 of their 8 position players on the depth chart are 25 years old or younger. That's created a buzz, even within the clubhouse.
I got drafted with Geloff. We were roommates, when we first got drafted. I went to high school with Wilson. So these are guys I've been with longer than our time just in the big leagues. So obviously there's that connection there, and it's been nice to kind of come up with them and follow their journey almost, and know that they're part of mine. So the farther we go together, the more chemistry we're going to build in that infield.
Well, Muncy is learning third base on the job at the big league level, and there have been some growing pains along the way, but we've also seen the comfort level grow as the season progresses, and Muncy is seeing time at second and short as well.
First half down, second half is set. What are the keys to the second half of the season for the A's? Kevin and I break it down after these words.
You're watching Covering the Bases with the A's.
Welcome to fabulous Las Vegas, where the lights never dim and the energy never fades. The sports and entertainment capital of the world. But it wasn't always that way. This is a city that's mastered the art of reinvention. So why not do it again? A's baseball is coming to Las Vegas in 2028. They say good things come to those who wait, but we're not here to be good. We're here to be great, and we're not waiting. The Neon City is about to shine even brighter and a whole lot greener. Every day, every play, this patch is more than a statement. It's a promise. Las Vegas, we're coming.
A's fans get priority access to purchase season tickets in Las Vegas for just $19.01.
Now, current A's season ticket members, Aviators season ticket holders, as well as Clark County residents who secure their spot on the priority access list will receive purchase priority ahead of the general fan. For more information, just visit athletics.com/Vegas.
All right, so hot off All-Star break, the A's look to return to form against the Cleveland Guardians as they won their last 2 series.
A 3-game series in Cleveland for the A's. The Guardians currently sitting in 4th place in the AL Central. Cleveland had 2 All-Stars this year. One, an outfielder, Stephen Kwan, who had that infield single that tied the All-Star game in the 9th inning, and another in Jose Ramirez, but he opted out of the game.
Yeah, now Kev, as the A's currently sit at last place in the AL West, 16 games out of first place, and heading into the All-Star break, the team really did generate some momentum winning the last 2 series. So what do you think will be the keys to a strong second half for the A's?
Well, they're showing signs of life, and they did have a strong second half last season. So there's hope that those young players, as they continue to get more comfortable at the big league level, that will bring more wins as we go along. It really, though, comes all down to pitching. Yeah. It's no secret the A's have had huge bullpen issues and some in the rotation as well this season. They need to get some more consistency with the pitching, and if they can do that, then they can maybe try to build on something that they can take into next season.
All right, once they get the pitching going, it's going to be a pretty sight to see.
Yeah, a lot of fun ahead for the A's the rest of this season, and of course, seeing what's going to be happening here in the future in Sacramento and in Las Vegas as well in 2028. That is a wrap on this edition of Covering the Bases with the A's. For Mike Davis and the rest of our Las Vegas-based crew, I'm Kevin Bolinger.
Yes, thanks so much for joining us. We'll be back next week. Until then, be good and go A's.